Hey everyone. I am going to be talking about a bit of a controversial topic today, and really diving in deep in regards to why your marketing right now is not working. So if you're catching this live or maybe in the replay, just pop in the comments, say hey, let me know that you're here. And we're going to dive right on in. So if you're new to me, hello and welcome. I'm Jereshia. I'm an income strategist and the creator of Services That Sell, where we teach coaches, consultants, and freelancers simple ways to a simple way to sell their services online. And many of people in our audience, hey everyone, hey Lynn, hey Nia, pop in the comments right now. Let me know. We're going to kind of do, not role playing, but you guys know I love using real life examples. Let me know right now how you feel about your current marketing efforts. Do you feel like the marketing, well, one, how do you define marketing? And two, do you feel like what you're doing right now for your marketing is actually working? Okay, just let me know, how do you define marketing? Are you marketing and is it working? Yes or no? So just pop in the comments and kind of give me an idea, just so I can get an idea of where everyone's at. But we're gonna just dive right on in. So many of you guys are either brand new to the online business world or new to starting your business. You're a solopreneur and you have this heart to increase your income and increase your impact. You're ready to start making more money by selling your strategies, selling your intellectual property, by helping other people solve their problems through the service that you can provide. And maybe you're like just getting started and you're trying to figure out this whole, how do I start marketing myself? How do I get clients? How do I sell? Or maybe you're further along. Maybe you've been doing this for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And for whatever reason, the marketing methods that you're currently using are not working. We're going to talk about that today. So again, if you're watching this live or in the replay, just pop in the comments and let me know. Just say yes or no. How do you feel? Do you feel right now that your marketing is effectively working? Meaning that you're creating content, you're putting things out there, and you're effectively attracting the right type of clientele, and you're actually converting the right type of people. So if you feel like you're doing really great in that, just say yes. If you feel like you're not, say no. But we're going to talk about that today. So the first thing is first, a lot of the time, we will start with this idea saying, okay, I know that I want another avenue for me to generate income online. I want to start making more money, but I don't know. I'm going to just start going out there and getting started. I'll create a Facebook page. I'll create a business Instagram page. I will just start creating content and putting stuff out there. I'll start making these inspirational quotes and make these social media graphics. I will create a Facebook group. I think I kind of need one of those. Does this relate? Does this sound familiar? A lot of the time at least what I've seen a lot of our students go wrong, or even where I went wrong in the very beginning of my business, is we have this idea, right? This business idea to start this business, to somehow start selling stuff online. And then we just start creating a bunch of stuff and start pushing it online, and start posting it on our social media channels and such without having any real strategy in place for us to be able to follow and execute. We don't have any metric indicators on what success looks like. We have no idea. We haven't defined what success looks like, so we know that we have arrived. We have no idea why we're doing what we're doing. On the back end, we just know we've been told you need to market your business, you need to create consistent content, and you need to put all this stuff out there. But the thing that I'm realizing is this: most people don't have a strategy. You have no idea why you're doing what you're doing, and you're sitting there wondering, well, why is nothing working? And 9 times out of 10, it's because you do not have a clear strategy in place. And I want to break down really the strategy you need to focus on implementing and the steps that are really critical for you to have in place so that your marketing efforts are strategically aligned with the results that you're looking to actually get. So if you guys can see my screen, just say yes. I'm about to do some drawing. Just pop in the comments, say yes. Let me know you can see this okay. Nia said marketing is the strategy behind what you do and where you do it. Yeah. But I hope you guys can see my screen right now. But the first thing is first, when you guys are thinking about creating a business and selling your services, and can you guys see my screen? Okay, yeah, okay. So when you guys have this idea of I want to start creating and selling services online, or for those of you guys who've already started creating digital products and digital courses, you need to make sure that you actually have a strategy in place. So the first step, right, the first step that all of us are going to take is you're going to be in a create mode, right? So the very first step that any of us take when we decide to build this business, or we have this idea, well, actually we start here. You start with an idea. You start with an idea of something that you could turn into a business. And we've talked about that in a previous episode where we talked about how to turn your business, the difference between having an idea and having an opportunity. So definitely like rewind and go listen to that if you haven't already. But you all start with this idea. You have these amazing ideas of what you could potentially sell, or what you could potentially turn into a service. And once you have that idea, you then get into creation mode. You start, creating content. You start creating social media graphics. You start creating digital products. You start creating all these different things that you could be doing. But really the whole purpose of once you have an idea and once you move into this stage of, I'm so glad I'm not drawing this on the screen because my drawing abilities would be quite horrific. But once you go from idea and you decide to actually start, go from idea and start creating, the big thing that you want to be doing in this creation phase, guys, is you really want to understand how to package your offer. And this is a really, really important step. This is what you should be focused on. So once you have an idea, once you have this business idea, the next step for you is now, how do I turn this business idea into a business opportunity? Meaning, how do I turn this idea of whatever solution or result you want to help a client get, how do I package that idea into an actual offer that I can sell? Okay? So this is all the number one focus for you in the creation phase, is how do I now package my offer? And in the realm of packaging your offer, you're going to be doing a few different things. You're going to be identifying who your target market is. You're going to be identifying, what problem are you actually solving? You're going to be, we call this a POP method. You're going to be identifying who it is that who your target market is, who you're solving the problem for, what problem you're actually solving. You're going to figure out what the process is. Basically, after you've packaged your offer, what process are you taking a client through to get them consistent results? This is really where you turn your strategies, the things that are in your brain that you know how to do. How do you turn those strategies into systems? Basically, how are you able to guide somebody through a series of steps for them to be able to, what's the process you're taking that client through? And this is really where you package your offer. Okay. So this phase in business, guys, I'm going to give some timelines on this. You guys know if you don't know me, one thing you'll learn about me is I'm really, really big on transparency. And transparency for me, especially in the online space, is helping people have a very clear understanding of what's required for you to get the results that you want to experience. So you may have had an idea for a month or like years. There's an infinite amount of time that you may have had an idea that you want to turn into a business model. But in this creation phase, I said that this typically takes people 6 to 12 months. I'd say sometimes it takes longer than that, but if you can spend a really good year trying to test out these ideas that you had there into figuring out, okay, how do I package this into an offer? It took me about 9 months to figure this out. I've seen clients, it's taken them a year, 2 years. I've seen people do this in 3 months. This can take a bit of time to actually be able to turn your idea and figure out, okay, what offer am I going to strategically package this into? But after you have, figured out how you're going to package your offer, you now need to prove your concept. And this is a step that I see so many people trying to skip, because people will try to go from idea to like, I'm gonna just like I have this idea, they haven't actually gone through the process of actually packaging their offer in a way that they can position it. Let me add that in here. You need to know how to position your offer. Price, position, actually nail all of this down. And you'll do this in iterations and in stages. This is why I say it normally takes about 6 to 12 months to really get this clear and get this solid. But people will try to skip this step. You cannot skip the step of packaging your offer. You can try to. You're going to have a really, really tough time making money or making consistent money, but you really need to spend the adequate time that you need effectively packaging your offer so you actually have something to sell. But once you package your offer, you'll be kind of going back and forth between this create and prove phase. And in the prove phase, you're really trying to, prove your concept, right? You're trying to prove your concept. And what I mean by that is, remember, you started with this idea of like whatever your idea was, and now you've packaged this offer. You need to start actually testing and trying to sell this offer that you now have packaged, so you can see if it actually works. Like so you need to see that it actually has market validation, meaning that people are willing to actually pay for the thing that you're doing, meaning you're getting sales in. You need to actually prove your process. So the process that you created while you were packaging your offer, basically the steps you're taking a client through to get them results, is that process right? Like, is that process actually getting your clients consistent results? Like, this is a really, really important thing for you to do. So this also takes time. Like, I would say between these two phases, I'd say another 12 to 24 months. This is really like you're really at a point here where this is probably your first like 1 to 3 years in business, guys, for just being all the way real on what's really required. So the goal for you is like within the first 3 years of your business, 1 to 3 years in your business, that you've taken this business idea, you've turned that business idea into a business opportunity, meaning you've identified the business model that you want to use. You've learned how to package your offer. You really understand your target audience. You understand who you're selling to. You clearly can communicate what problem that you're solving. You know the process that you're taking a client through. You're solid about your pricing. You know how to position your offer. And you've been able to prove the concept, meaning you've been able to get consistent sales. You've been able to get consistent results. And those two things validate your offer. They validate that the thing that you want to be selling actually works. And this typically takes, like I've seen for myself in business and for others, typically 1 to 3 years to get through these 3 phases. So by the time that you've gotten to the create and prove process, it's not absurd for you to be at a point in your business where you have a 6-figure business. Okay? So you should be able to go from, like 0 to having a 6-figure business in this time frame. So if you've been in business for more than 3 years and you have not been able to break over the 6-figure mark, this is a really, really clear indication that something is off. That either something's off with your business model, or something is off with how you're packaging your offer. Something is off with the strategy that you're currently using, okay? So if you've been in business more than 3 years and you don't have a 6-figure a year business, I would take a moment to pause and identify, okay, like something is clearly off. You should be able to get to a 6-figure business in a 3-year time frame. But typically, most people are skipping some of these steps. So let me know in the comments, is this resonating with you guys? Is this clear? Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? And in regards to why your marketing might not be working, if you don't have a clear offer, you're going to be creating content and trying to market and create marketing material and marketing campaigns, but you don't even know what you're trying to market. If you don't have a clear offer and know who your audience is, know what problem you're solving, and know what process you're taking your clients through, your marketing efforts are probably going to be falling on deaf ears, mainly because your marketing is not effectively attached to the outcome that you're looking to get people results for. And this is where most people go wrong. They're trying to market and sell their business. They're trying to market and create all this collateral and material and these marketing campaigns, but you don't know who you're selling to. You really don't even know what the hell you're selling. You don't know what result you're helping people get. So this is why this is really, really, really important, okay? So after you have gone through your idea and after you have created your offer, meaning that you know how to package your offer where you have these elements very effectively in place, you need to go through this of actually proving your concept. And I wish that there was a drawing tool. Can I draw on this? I don't think I can. But between this creation and proof phase, you're gonna be constantly tweaking, okay? So you'll have an offer, you'll test that offer. The offer may or may not work. You'll go back to the drawing board, you'll revisit. So there's a lot of testing and tweaking in this phase, okay? Lots of testing and tweaking. I'll just say test, tweak, repeat. So there's a lot of back and forth happening here. So when people, for those of you guys who are already in services that sell, you guys can probably feel this, where it's well, I had an offer and then I went and launched it, but it didn't resonate with my audience. So now I have to go back and keep revising, keep tweaking, keep working things out. Just know that that's normal. That is completely normal. You are not a failure. There is nothing wrong if you have to go back to the drawing board. And I don't want you to ever feel as if I have to start all over again. You're never starting all over again. You know, all you're doing, what you've done got you to where you are right now. Do not discredit all the work that you've been doing up until that point. But this is just part of the process, right? This is just part of building a business. This is just part of what it takes for you to get something that will stick and get you to a point where you're making consistent income and getting consistent sales. Okay, so there's a lot of repeating back and forth in this phase to test and tweak and get the languaging down, get the messaging down, get the get the positioning down, really nail down your process. There's a lot of testing and tweaking in between this. But up until this point, all of what you're doing in these two phases is focusing on selling just one offer. So you may be packaging your offer and you'll be making these tests and tweaks to it, but at the end of the day, you want to come out with a signature service. Okay? So the goal for you at the end of, not really even at the end, but in the process of this is for you to create a signature service. And the reason for that is, and maybe you guys can let me know, how many services are you guys currently selling? How many different types of services or products are you currently selling? And just pop in the comments and give me a number of how many different packages you sell, how many different offers you sell, how many different products you may sell. Just let me know. And the reason why I'm so big on just focusing on one signature service is because there are countless examples of how people have been able to get to 7-figure and 8-figure businesses, especially in our online space. They've all done it off of one offer. They've all, Melissa Griffin, Pinfinite Growth, her course, she got to 7 figures in 18 months. Caitlin Batchelor, her Fab Facebook group course, she was able to get there, one offer, 7 figures in about 12 to 18 months. James Wedmore, Business by Design, one offer, one course, was able to get to 7 figures in about a 12-month time frame. All these there's tons and tons and tons of examples, but if you understand, if you're trying to sell 2, 3, 7, 5, 10 different things, it will take you twice as long per product to figure this out, okay? Because you only have so much capacity, you only have so much time, you only have so many resources. And if one week you're trying to nail down the packaging and prove the concept of one offer, and the next week you're switching gears and focusing on another product, another offer, another audience, and then you're focusing on another product, another person, another audience, you're constantly pulling yourself in different directions, and you're really basically half-assing your efforts in all these different avenues. So I get that people are really big about saying you need to have 7 streams of income, which is great, but if you, there's an awesome book called The Millionaire Next Door, and they talk about how millionaires got to millionaire status. They also talk about having multiple streams of income, but every successful millionaire that got to millionaire status, they figured out one revenue stream at a time. So they didn't come out of the gate trying to create 7 different revenue streams and build 7 different revenue streams at one time. That's not how they did it. That's not how it works. You want to focus on creating just one revenue stream at a time. And this is where I call your signature service, is you need to focus on one clear offer, the one thing that you want to be known for in your industry. And when you can really focus in and double down on what that one offer is, there will be testing and tweaking about that one offer. So you may be creating and realize that's not the best offer, then you tweak it and repackage it and reposition it, but you're still in the same encompassing, you'll be testing to figure out what that one offer should be. But once you figure out what that one offer is, you stick with that until you can hit that 6 and 7 figure mark before you go out there and create another revenue stream. Because I know people who have tons of revenue streams, but they're still broke. Right? Because no one revenue stream is really actually getting the momentum and bringing in the money that they ultimately want to be experiencing in their business. Does that make sense? So I know a lot of people don't agree with that logic, but there's too much data that shows, even in my own business and from my clients and from other successful entrepreneurs, that you don't need to sell a million different things for you to make really good money and for you to get to a point where you're at that 6 and 7 figure mark. You need to focus on having one thing that you are known for. I think this is called building the trunk of your tree. So if you even think outside of our online world, I always love using these examples. Like Coca-Cola, for example. Coca-Cola, they sell over 100 different products now, today, after 100 years of being in business. They started their business as a bottling company. So they weren't even making beverages back in the day when Coca-Cola got started. They were bottling and packaging other people's beverages. And then they got into the beverage game where they started creating their own formula and making their own product. And that's when Coca-Cola was created. But Coca-Cola started with Coca-Cola. There was one bottle. There was only one product that they sold. And it took them, getting to that was their signature product, Coca-Cola. They mastered that one product. That's the trunk of their tree before they started branching out and making Gatorade and juices and teas and lemonades. They focus on that one product. Kevin Hart is another example that I love. He's coming to Detroit soon, but he's a comedian. That is the trunk of his tree. He spent decades perfecting that one craft to be known as a comedian before he branched out and became an actor, became a rapper, made, a clothing line. Before he started doing all these other things, he focused on one thing. Now, the beauty of being in the online space is it's not necessarily going to take you a decade of perfecting that one thing before you can start making other revenue streams. You can typically do it in that 1 to 3 year time frame, usually, for you to figure out what your signature service is. So up until this point, my recommendation for you up until this point to get you to 6 figures is doing one-on-one services. So offering coaching, consulting, or freelancing. I really am a huge proponent of you doing this in a one-on-one capacity first, because this allows you the flexibility to be able to be nimble and to perfect these aspects of your services before you spend all the time and energy and money turning this into a more leveraged product. So in this phase, you really should be focusing on doing one-on-one services, or small group coaching programs, so one-on-one, or I'll say small group programs. You'll be coaching, consulting, and freelancing. But once you've been able to package your offer and prove your concept, meaning that you have market validation, you know how to sell the offer, you're getting consistent sales and you're getting clients consistent results, you're probably at a point where you really have a good packaged offer. You have this signature service. And once you have your signature service, what am I doing? Once you have your signature service, this is where, after you have your signature service, where you'll create a leveraged offer. Okay? And what I mean by a leverage offer is now all this work is really, really beneficial, because all you're going to do now is repackage everything that you've been doing beforehand and turn this into a leveraged offer, meaning turn this into a course or a membership site of some capacity. So you're going to repackage what you did in your one-on-one services and turn this into a leveraged offer. So this is really where you get to a point where you'll be able, like I said, to turn this into a course, like a digital course, turn this into your signature course, would be typically the ideal way to go about it. This is where you can really start selling one-to-many, meaning that you'll have your processes are solid enough that if 1,000 people went through your program, you'd be able to support that demand. So at this point is really where you start to turn what you've done in your one-on-one. You've already packaged the offer. You've already perfected the process. You're already getting your clients consistent results. You're going to turn that offer into a leveraged offer and turn that into your signature course. And again, what I mean by that is if we put 1,000 people through this program, that you'd be able to get those 1,000 people consistent results. There's a clear process, a clear formula that you're taking people through. And this is really where you're at a point where you're going to be, and I'd say this probably still takes, I don't know. I say this can probably be done effectively in like another 12 to 18 month time frame, where then you can go from, I don't know. I'll say 1 to 2 years, where you'll be able to now focus on this leveraged offer. Hi, Bentley. My dog just ran inside and he's going nuts. You'll be able to focus on this leveraged offer and actually start automating every aspect of it. First, you'll create the leveraged offer. So you'll create your signature service. And then once you've created your signature service, you'll get to a point where you'll be able to automate the process. Okay? And this takes 1 to 2 years. You'll be able, this is what allows you to go from that 100,000 a year to that 1 million. Okay? And this is when you guys do this in stages versus like trying to jump the gun and create an automated offer out of the gate, you understand how much like you're doing yourself and your clients a disservice by skipping all of these steps. Okay? You really need to get clear on understanding how to actually, you may be great at doing what you do, but if you don't know how to package that and teach it in a way so somebody else can do what you do and get results without you having to hold their hand and do it for them, that's a huge disconnect. Okay? So this is really how you get to that 7-figure mark. I know people who can do it. I mean, really you can do it within that, like as early as 3 years. I've seen people, I'd say like maybe 7 years, 8 years, sometimes people a little bit longer than that. But this is really the best way to go about implementing this process is you start with this idea, you figure out how to package your offer, you prove your concept. This allows you to really have that solid signature service. And once you're doing this in a one-on-one capacity or in a small group coaching capacity, and once you figure this out and you're at a point within 3 years, you should be having a 6-figure business. After that, it's really, okay, how can we turn this 6-figure business of selling our services or doing it in a small group capacity? How do we repackage that and turn that into a leveraged offer and start going one-to-many? And then once we are able to sell and launch this, I'd say you'll probably stay in this phase alone for probably 6 to 12 months. Really just figuring out the best way to repackage your offer and turn it into a leveraged program. Probably another 6 to 12 months figuring out how to do that. So you'll launch that program probably 3 to 5 times. And then once you've created that leveraged offer, then it's like, how do we now automate the entire sales process and automate the delivering of that process so we can get you from that 6 figures to 7-figure mark. So I hope this was helpful. I just wish that somebody would have told me this when I first started my business to at least like map out, okay, how does this look and what will this look like for me? But this is really why, your marketing efforts and the content that you create and how you try to position and sell your stuff needs to be aligned with what your business model is and the problem that you're actually solving. And if you don't have those beginning things really nailed down and ironed out, you're going to have a very difficult time marketing and selling yourself because you really don't know what you're marketing and selling. Or why you have a difficult time creating a website because you don't know who the website is for or really the action you want people to take because you haven't actually figured out out what problem you're solving and you haven't effectively packaged the actual thing that you are selling and ultimately wanting people to do. So just pop in the comments and let me know, was this helpful for you or insightful for you? I hope it was. If this was super helpful, feel free to share this video with your audience. But you'll also see a link in the title and a link in the comments. I do have an awesome Facebook group that is specifically for coaches, consultants, and freelancers who are looking to create their own signature service. So I'd love for you to join us there. And yeah, be a part of our community so we can support you in building and doing this yourself. Exactly. It is a long-term commitment. This model is not for everyone. Let me put that out there right now. If you're looking for some get rich quick scheme or some girl, I'm just trying to make this money overnight type of, quick level success, it doesn't work like that. But if you're in the game of trying to create a business that is consistent, that is sustainable, and that will last, so many people are so quick to quit their job and dive into building a business, which is great. But if you're not committed to it for the long haul, soon after you will go back and get a job. Mainly because it takes time to build any business. It takes time to grow a business, build an audience, and be able to get that consistency in your revenue and consistency in results. But it's totally possible. And so if you're not looking to actually if you're trying to stay in side hustle mode forever, this model probably is not beneficial for you. There's tons of ways for you to go out there and just hustle and get money. You can really hustle your way to 6 figures too, but it's not sustainable, right? It is not sustainable. And even though you can build a 6-figure business hustling, can you consistently bring in 6 figures a year? You won't be able to do that in straight hustle mode forever. But this model that we just talked about is really a process and a strategy that will really support you in being able to create something that you can manage and maintain, that you can have predictability in your income month over month and year over year. And I'm just giving you guys data and statistics on what it's taken me. I'm 2 years in business. We're at about the $300,000 mark. We're at the point now where we're automating. So I've been able to do it quicker than the time frame that I laid out here. In 2 years, we've been able to get to a point where we're at automating our signature service and automating this leverage product that we created, and really looking at scaling that at this point. So it doesn't mean that it's going to take you a decade to figure it out. You can do it faster. But I just wanted to give you some, I think, healthy guidelines and time frames so you understand, this is really what's required to get the results that you see other people preaching and trying to sell you in their programs. So this is not for everybody. Everybody's not actually trying to build something that's sustainable and that they'll be able to maintain and that will get them out of hustle mode for forever. But if you're looking to actually build a legit business that really will not just replace your income once, but be able to replace your income on a sustainable basis, this is a model that I highly recommend. So start with one-on-one services so you can create, improve your concepts to the point where you actually have nailed down what your signature service is. Once you have a really solid system for your signature service, you repackage that offer into a signature course. You sell that and launch that. The goal for you there is how can you get about 100 students into your program? And that's a really good, healthy, measurable number. And once you've gotten about 100 students into your signature course, then you start automating that course and automating the sales process and really start scaling it to get to that 7-figure mark until getting about 1,000 students or so in the program. So I hope this was helpful and just help you realign your expectations. Like I said, I'd love for you to join us in our Facebook group. It's completely free. Just click the link above or below to join, and I will see you guys over there. Talk to you soon, everyone.